it is now time for your favorite segment of the week, a segment where we can kind of spin it around the league, hopefully make some people rich. If you listened to us about our single game parlay last night, you would have won some nice change on a plus 500 odds of Dalton Kincaid anytime touchdown, Josh Allen over 275 yards. So, Luka, let's continue the winning streak. Luka's Locks has had a rough start to the season, 7 of 14, but that just means that we are due. And the first lock of the week is going to take us to a matchup of very young, exciting quarterbacks. Now, one of them has had a little bit rough start to his career. That's Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. They are going to be taking on C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans. C.J. Stroud has been fantastic. Sounds like no Robert Woods this week. Carolina's been a mess. Frank Reich loses offensive play calling. How do you see this game going for your first game of the week 8 locks?
Yeah, no, first and foremost, I mean, just the last 2 weeks alone, we are as cold can be. And last night, having that little mini parlay at plus 500, still ridiculous in my mind. I can't believe that was plus 500. Incredible. We're trying to turn the tide here. So, yeah, we find ourselves in Carolina. And honestly, it's an interesting one because Frank Reich has handed over play calling duty over to his offensive coordinator. He is eliminating that, and that would, I believe, in some people's eyes, be viewed as a benefit. And then on top of it all, they're coming off a bye. They probably can rework some things, but Houston's also coming off a bye. It's one of those rare games where both teams are coming off a bye and then playing each other. And I think C.J. Stroud right now is playing at an unbelievable level. I think the Texans defense has been a little disappointing of late, but has shown that they can be effective. And just the Carolina offense has shown me absolutely nothing for me to believe in anything at all. The line is currently at 3.5 Texans, I believe, everywhere. I'm going to buy that half point where possible or the full point. That's the asterisk on FanDuel. If you did there, it's 2.5. Do not get caught by the 3.5 hook there. Buy it to 3 to even open up the push. It's perfectly okay, but I like the Texans. Give me that. I think they can win this game kind of we'll call it a 26-20, maybe even like a 26-17, I think is ultimately where I think this game goes. But overall, I just don't see how the Texans don't at least cover 3 points.
The thing about sports gambling, Luka, is you don't just have to bet on point spreads and favorites and over-unders. There are now a wide variety of things you can bet on. Last night, our parlay included a Dalton Kincaid anytime touchdown. And that is the kind of metric you're going to go with your second lock of the week is you have a player that you feel very confident is going to find the end zone this week. Who is that player?
So we're going to talk about Breece Hall here, and I'm just going to throw the graphic up immediately. I love Breece Hall in this Battle of the Meadowlands matchup. It was interesting, and this is kind of that pick where it's like I was looking for that one change of pace thing, try to get rid of this cold streak as we see right there. We're trying to get that right, and I was looking up some stuff, and somehow the Giants, a team the Bills struggled to move the ball on 2 weeks ago, allow 5 yards per carry and have allowed a tied for second rushing touchdowns with 10. They love to give up chunks on the ground. They give up scores on the ground. And I think Breece Hall is just getting healthier by the week. He looks great with the Jets. They're coming off a bye week as well. This is one that I think and it would expect to hit early. I feel like you see a lot of running back scores early. That's just generally like in the orchestrated drive. You get down inside the 10. All of a sudden, you got a couple good run plays you like. You execute it well. You get that score. I like Breece Hall to score this week. You can get it at plus money, of course, as you see there. Like a lot of anytime touchdowns are. So give me Breece Hall anytime touchdown against the Giants.
Breece Hall anytime touchdown is number 2. Texans -3 is number 1. And for your third game of the week, we are going to talk about a big NFC matchup this week as the Dallas Cowboys are 6.5 point favorites over the Los Angeles Rams. That could be a sneaky good game of the week as far as two teams fighting for positioning in the NFC. Luka, how do you see this one going down?
So this is one of those ones I might have even highlighted to earlier in the episode, where I think it really does depend on how you feel about the Cowboys. And I think the Cowboys this year have shown that they can absolutely dominate bad teams, and they can absolutely manhandle you at the line of scrimmage, create chaos, get ahead early, and everything like that. The interesting part to me is I don't think the Rams can be manhandled, at least early on. I think they have a lot of aerial threat. You've seen it with Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp looks great. He looks to his old self. Puka Nacua is he might be, a top 5, top 3 wide receiver 2 in the league already at this point in time. He is just incredible. And when you have those kinds of things, and then the mind of a Sean McVay to orchestrate and exploit the weaknesses that I think Dallas does have in their secondary, mainly due to the injury that they're still kind of dealing with Trayvon Diggs being out for the rest of the year. There's stuff to be had there. And I think we've even seen Micah Parsons kind of cool off just a little bit, where there might be some fun to be had with this Rams team. I think they can keep it close and everything like that. I think 6.5 points is just way too much to be given to the Cowboys. It's too much respect in my mind to the Cowboys. I think this is a field goal game at best. I think you're giving them an extra 3.5 points just because they're at home for whatever reason. I think the money also, just for what it's worth, is heavily on the Cowboys. I think everyone saw Pittsburgh, who is not a respected 4-2 team, come into LA and beat the Rams, and that's what everyone sees. The Rams gave away that game. I think they're a better team than that. I don't think they're a great team, but they're definitely better than being a 6.5 point dog in Dallas, who is not an impressive team in my mind. So with that in mind, give me the Rams plus 6.5.
Yeah, it's funny. I think Dallas has a better roster, almost undoubtedly, but this is, to me, this is a coaching mismatch. Sean McVay against Mike McCarthy, and I honestly would take Matt Stafford over Dak Prescott at this point. So I love the weapons in LA. I do think that Nacua and Kupp are better weapons than CeeDee Lamb and Cooks. Cooks has been good though, so I might want to walk that back a little bit. But I think the combination of Nacua and Kupp, the way they get open, the rapport they have with Stafford, it's a fun offense to watch. They're a pain. I like that pick by you quite a bit. That line feels heavy to me, so I would certainly want to get in on that.